Instead of generating unusable slop AI usually cranks out for images, it's actually pretty dang good now, and let me show you 5 use cases for that. Practical scenario for a lot of people, birthday parties. People that have birthdays and you want to make a card for them, personalized and fun, instead of going to the dollar store, or maybe you're a little bit bougie and go to Walmart. Let's take it a step further with AI now and see if we can create a customized birthday card. I'm gonna make one for my nephew. He loves cars, so let's put that in there. Right off the bat, you're gonna see that ChatGPT 5 did not create an image. Actually, I want you to make an image. Let's dumb it down for it a little bit more because AI isn't that smart apparently. Let's tell it we want the front of the birthday card. So as we're seeing it generate itself, we can see happy room, happy 5T. Let's see if it can understand where it messed up. Happy 5th birthday, it added the correct thing. Gemini is creating an image. It didn't add any text or anything like that, which would have been nice. And I don't know what's going on with the creepy looking devilish smoke coming out of the car. And this is clearly taken from a certain movie. I'd like it to dumb it down for me even more. It should be simpler. Gemini 5 is able to pull it out and make a fully different styled car. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Creating logos for this channel, it actually was quite helpful. Yeah, it's not perfect, and you can tweak it with AI itself. I can go back into ChatGPT and say, hey, I'd like to put this into one singular image, don't put 2 on here, and try to work with it that way, but it just takes so long to do that. I'd rather just take the image, if I like one of these 2, and put it into my iPad and edit it in an app on there. You might want to just tweak it from here, which is definitely doable, and it definitely works. Redo the whole concept for the Matt's AI lab, and it actually is kind of cool. I like this one. It's a hand-drawn style. I think the thing that I like the most with Gemini and with AIs in general is I don't want it to look all techy and modern and 3D. Like, it seems to want to do that a lot. If I force it into more of a 2D style or sketch style, hand-drawn style, it looks a lot cooler. A marketing flyer. I've got a dog grooming business. Nice to be able to create a marketing flyer that says 15% off and giving that to neighbors. I want it to be able to say 15% off, as well as the name of the company, as well as a spot for a QR code. It's not going to generate the proper QR code. It does work with ChatGPT quite well, but you have to create that separate and then add it into the image that you make. You can't just put all that into a single prompt and it works with the QR code that it makes. It's going to be too much for it. As I was saying before, Gemini really wants to make it a life-like looking thing. And by doing so, it looks a little bit off. Like the hair here on the dog, it looks fake. The person actually looks real, but the dog looks a little bit fake. So Gemini tried to keep the exact same image, but made it look a little bit more artistic, where it seemed more hand-drawn, even though it didn't really do that. It just applied an overall correction on top of it, it looked like. But it does have the correct wording, although this part is a little off-center. That could be better. But it does have the QR code spot, and it does say what I asked. Now, ChatGPT actually came up with something pretty good after the initial dropping of the ball and creating code. It actually created something kind of cool. Now, this part, I don't know what this is. I'd probably want to edit that out. And this is a little off right here. So it looks like this flyer is meant to be handed out, 1 per customer. It doesn't fully make sense why you would have them put in your phone and address and hours if you're giving this to the person themselves. It doesn't make sense at all. However, this is pretty cool. This is usable. I can modify this. I can talk with it to change things up. And this is something I'd actually go with. This is pretty cool. Most of us don't have fancy studio lighting and a nice suit and all that. As you can tell, I don't have the best lighting either. You can see all this craziness. That's because my lighting is not the best. Let's see if we can use AI to combat having low quality lighting and not a studio and not a suit. With Gemini, it actually does a really good job. What I've noticed is the more iterations you go through, the worse it gets. This, however, does look pretty cool. And I could see this being used in an ad. People normally, when they see an ad, don't look at the nitty-gritty. Although nowadays with AI, they might be doing that a little bit more. I don't think they're going to do it with ads like this. YouTube thumbnails. It takes a lot of time and effort to make a decent one, and even then a lot of people don't click on it. So if AI can create one that is very clickable and doesn't look like AI and people like it, this is a good starting point. It gives me a good idea, and I do think it's clickable and I do like it. I would just have to incorporate and create my own version of this with me. Now Gemini comes up with some cool ideas. I think this could be good. As you can tell, it's not in the correct format. It's not in the dimensions for a YouTube thumbnail. So this one that Gemini made kind of works, but it honestly feels pretty bland. It feels a little weird. I don't know what the circle in the middle is all about. Text is a little bit too small. There's a little bit too much going on in the picture itself. The AI imaging isn't big enough. This is definitely not one that I would use. So as far as thumbnails go, Gemini has the upper hand here. I think you can talk it into the right thing. It's going to take a lot of back and forth to get what you want. Hit or miss on some things, and it's definitely great on others.